Welcome back to day 11 of our Quick Strike video series. Today we are going to discover part 2 of the trading tools and follow up on where we left off yesterday. So again, as you see, we are just logged in and we're landing on the market dashboard product overview page. As you recall, our pricing tools had our trade builder tool in there. So we can click on that and we are going to land on our March contract, which is the first contract in the list, which is the default whenever you come into the trading tools trade builder. So yesterday, if you remember, we were working on the April contract. So let's go to the April contract and let's load up what we had to get started. I believe we were working on one of these. Here we go, and now we have our broken put fly. So we covered the position tab and the strategy sections, and we discussed how you can manipulate the trade with the analysis tools, change your strike range, those kind of things. And we wanted to look at some of the more advanced stuff in the risk runs in the advanced section. So we're going to assume you watched the other video and are comfortable with the analysis tools and what all these buttons do down here. And we're going to take a look at what we can do with our risk run section and our advanced section. So for good measure, let's just start over again and let's just revisit how we built the trade. So let's go simple with, let's do a 1x2 instead today. So let's just do a 1x2 and hit calculate. We'll see our chart over here. There we go. And now, just to run through these again, we can get a cleaner version of this page without the text boxes for entry, and then we get a bigger version of the chart, right? And then we run ourselves down into our risk run. So let's take a look at our risk runs. And first we have a futures risk run. So what you'll see here is you're going to see a P&L chart with futures stepping up and down. And in this case, we have a certain step that's defaulted here, and we're going to see a position and vol and Greek table here, and then you're going to see this same chart in a tabular form. So this is going to let you look at a trade and say, if futures go up, what happens? If futures go down, what happens? Okay, and that's really the idea behind all of these, is to let you slide up and down. Now, if we want to control the steps that we see here, I can click on that settings button, and in this case, we have a quarter tick step. So if we want to make a full tick step, I can say 1, and I can increase my steps if I want to here. But let's just start with a step of 1 with the same six steps. And here we go. We have our underlying here, and then we're stepping up 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, and then down again. So interestingly enough, our chart in that smaller range looked like we were just going to have loss on one side and profit on the other, when in reality we have some turn of events here depending on how far up we go in the futures. So this is going to be very similar to what we see on the vol and the time risk. But remember, we were over in the settings section and we were able to manipulate our step here in the top section of the futures risk. So we can do the same thing in the vol risk and the time risk. So let's take a look at those. So we're in our vol risk and we see that we have a 1 point step down and a 1 point step up. So and again, same thing, our positions, and then what our position looks like from a P&L standpoint, a theoretical value standpoint, and then all our Greeks with each of these steps. So if we look at our settings, now in this case, I think let's do a little bit finer of a step. Let's do a quarter tick in vol. So let's do a half a tick in vol. Oops, one more time. Let's do a half a tick and say okay. And now here we go. So now we have steps up of a half in vol for six measures, and then same on the downside. And we can see what our P&L is going to be in terms of ticks in each of these scenarios. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Simple risk movement and then simple vol movement. And finally, let's take a look at the time decay. So this, we're always going to move forward in time. So right now it defaults to some standard step to get you basically down to the expiry. So in this case, we have about 40 days. So we're dividing that up accordingly. So 10 days forward, 20 days forward, 30 days forward. So let's do something. Let's make our own steps. So in this case, since we're on February 11th, let's go to tomorrow. Let's go to the weekend, and let's go to the end of next week. All right, and say okay. And now we see what our steps look like. So we say, what does our decay look like tomorrow, then over the weekend, and then next Friday, and at expiry, this is what we look like. Okay, so we have a net loss if we just hold this position until it closes, based on where the futures and the vol are at this point. Okay, so we have These are single risk parameters, right? So you can only look at one at a time. We're discussing having another custom one here where you can move all three of them in different buckets and see what the result is, but we're not quite there yet, but it's something to look forward to and something to hold us to as we go forward. If you're looking for, you say, hey, where's that aggregate risk run that you promised in video number 11 in February? So we're taking a look at it, and we're always trying to do our best to update this tool. So finally, something interesting as well, it's been high demand for a long time, and we finally got it out there a few months ago, is this history tab. And what this does is let you look back at where the spread has been over time. So we show you there's a couple months in this case, and I believe it's 3 months worth of data that we go back depending on the contract. So I think April contract just came on, so we don't have much in terms of what's there. So this is where the starting point was. But this is going to show you what this spread has done over time. So from when you're tracking to where it currently is. And a lot of people find this useful because they want to see at what level they're putting this on, if they could have gotten it at a better level, you know, if it traded more cheaply or more expensively very recently, you know, were they working in order and they missed it, those kind of things. So again, we have a historicals here, and you're going to see the price history, the futures history, and then the Greeks as well. So it's a nice way to track what this trade has done over time. Um, if you're interested in that type of thing. So again, let's summarize what we looked at here in the trade builder. We have our position tab where we do our building, right? So we can add what we want over here and recalculate and see what our break-even chart looks like at any given time. Okay, we can clear this out and start fresh by hitting the new button. Okay. We can load things up from what we saved previously. We can save a trade, so we're able to load them up or look at them over in the Manage Quick Strike section, which we discussed yesterday as well. We can invert this position to see what it looks like from a chart and break-even standpoint, and we can hedge these positions. And finally, we can manipulate the settings that we see over here in the risk runs. Okay, and then you remember from the analysis bar, we can change our future, our vol, our days. We can move that vol curve forward. We can manipulate number of strikes that we display. And then we have our advanced settings, where we just simply changing the model over here for this product. Okay, and then this will reset us back to where we started in terms of the analysis bar. So if we make any changes up here, this change will show up, and we'll see a yellow highlight that says analysis controls are active. If we want to switch that back to where we started, we hit that refresh arrow button, and there we are. So your position and your general, you know, sort of simple reporting tool here. You have your more customized looking report. You have the chart if you want to cut and paste that into another document, then your risk runs, and then your history. And then let's just load one up one more time just to revisit one more thing. So I'm going to load the Putfly up again, and you'll see every time you save or load up a trade, you're going to see this view button. And remember, you can click on that view button, and I'll bring this into the screen window. And now you have the ability to print this trade off in a nice report format. And you can print this out as a PDF and send it along, save it, take it on the train, send it to somebody who you want to look at the trade, etc. So there you go. Thanks again. That was part 2 of the trade builder under pricing tools. We've done a pretty good number of menu items in this first 11 days. So we have 18 days left. It's a leap year, so we have 18 more videos to go. So I hope you stay with us and continue to enjoy the videos. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.